Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit with your boy, the Manic Genius and the Sophisticated Jerk. So what's good, man?
What's good? What's good? What's good? What you got for us today? I know you got a clip. I know you got some fire for us.
Oh, no doubt, man. Today I got a clip of a lawyer talking about like the top profession and a spouse men should avoid. So she breaks that down and she kind of highlights like a particular female that, from her perspective as a divorce lawyer, men that kind of come at men the most. So she breaks that down. So let me go ahead and cue that up real quick.
Okay, so the clip is about a divorce lawyer telling warning men of women to stay away from, or based on her experience.
Yeah, it wasn't like stay away from them, but like, hey, here's the number one
Here's the
female
reality.
that's gonna kind of come at you. The one I seen that comes the most aggressive, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she breaks it down like, hey. So nah, it's definitely interesting. When I saw this circulating, I was like, oh, we got to break this down. So let
Hmm.
me cue that up. All right, I'll play it real quick. Hold on, make sure. Okay, we good.
I debated posting this because I know how bad it's going to be.
She seemed nervous as hell, don't she?
People get this.
Yeah, she's shaking already.
From me. But there were so many people that asked that I decided after a lot of thought and consideration that I will go ahead and respond to the most asked question from my last video, which is what professions in women should men avoid? And a lot of you thought that those same professions for men that I told you to avoid would translate to women, and they really don't. I don't think that there's enough data out there for me to comment on that. But I've had one military female client who was pretty difficult, but other than that, I've not seen any correlation in those same professions. But I went through my case list. And if you have a problem with me giving an introduction to this, then just scroll along because I'm about to hurt a lot of people. So I'm going to explain what I have to say. And you're going to have to listen to it if you want the answer. I went through my case list, and there's about 60 cases on my case list. And there are some common professions that I see in women. The most common one that I see is teacher. The second most common is nurse. But those cases are not cases where the female is really difficult or litigious or anything like that. They're just kind of run-of-the-mill cases. The most common profession that I see in the female parties in my divorces, and this is over 13 years of cases. Oh my God, I'm so nervous.
She's scared to get canceled.
Stay-at-home mom.
What'd she say?
Hate me.
Stay-at-home
Y'all are
mom.
going to hate me, but let me explain why. Number one, when you're divorcing a stay-at-home mom, they are paralyzed with fear, and rightfully so, because their whole life is going to change. They are going to have to go back to the workforce. They're going to have to possibly move. Their finances are about to be very different. There's lots of things that they don't know financially about what's going on. And so they tend to stick their head in the sand and stall. And so the cases become very contested and very expensive. The second reason that I see that stay-at-home moms end up being the most common profession in a divorce is that I think there's a tendency, and this is completely my opinion, just based on my observations, they tend to focus so much on the children, and the husband focuses so much on career that they first of all, they don't feel appreciated by one another. But the husband starts feeling like an ATM, and the wife becomes completely focused on the children, and they tend to grow apart. So I think that's why it's the most common. That's not hate, just an observation. It's probably my last TikTok. So see ya.
She said you about to get canceled.
Yeah.
And she knew. She was like, look, y'all ain't gonna see me no more, goddamn it. She was like, look, I'm doing this one shot. Y'all asked. I'm dropping it on y'all. I'm out. She's like, I'm going to Bora Bora. Damn y'all. Shout out to her. I saw that ring, man. She had the ice dripping on there. So she was like, look.
That joint was kind of big. I seen that
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. She had one of them Kobe specials. Man, cheated twice. It was like, look. But so what's your take on that? What you think what she was saying?
Unlike some other clips that have like a perspective on a situation, She actually explained, why, based on her experience. So, um, I'm not a lawyer. I don't have 13 years of experience of cases that I've reviewed in divorce. So I'll have to take her word for it. And I mean, I think her argument was solid. Uh, she said the first thing is fear. It's just like stay at homes realize that their whole world is going to change because they actually have to work now. They have to,
Why you say it like that,
do.
man?
I say it like that because it's funny that like, you know, um, you can be a responsible adult or you can claim to be a responsible adult and not want to be responsible. Like it's like almost like a contradiction. It's just like, but yeah, it speaks to that type. Scared, don't want to work, whether it's laziness or maybe it might be like a mental condition that some of them have, or a handicap, physically. Like obviously there's exceptions for that, but you know, why else would a able-bodied individual not want to work? And the only thing I can think of is laziness. So the fear that she speaks of is why they stall and make things, way more difficult. And then she said the second reason that like actually pulls most of these relationships apart is that the stay-at-home moms tend to over focus on the children while, not tending to their, husband, in which is he's out there, he has to chase the career because he's got to make more money, to keep everybody happy in the household. And that would feel like an ATM. Like if I went and, worked my ass off and, got promotions and made sacrifices and then came home and it's just like, I'm so disconnected because I have to work so hard. And, I could see also from a woman's standpoint of her whole life is taking care of kids and, tending to the household. And, I already know how I feel about a household. Like shit is not hard to clean. Like, especially if you got 8 hours. If I had 8 hours every single, my place is very clean right now. And, I come home from work. Now you could eat off my floors, but if I had 8 hours to do that every day, the type of deep cleaning that I would do, I would be done within like 2 days. I think it's a little different. Obviously, you got a lot of kids running around. That's a little different, but it's still not that difficult. So I would definitely be one of those dudes coming home being like, okay, like I'm supposed to appraise you for doing some real basic shit. You got a dishwasher, you got a you got a washer dryer, like all these modern amenities, and you need 8 hours to do what? Like, so I could definitely see how that could definitely put a wedge between relationships. So yeah, I think everything that she said is valid. So yes, stay at home moms. I mean, no shots at them, but if you're a guy, and you're putting yourself in that situation, just be prepared, to, according to her, to have a more difficult divorce process. So you might just want to stick around.
So you better write that out, huh?
Yeah, you gotta write that out.
It's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah. You don't have that freedom to be a man and like exercise your right to walk away from some shit.
Yeah, no, man. We always try to like teach people, man, and even with females, like I try to tell them, I'm like, man, like what she pointed out in the video, where you're gonna lack a little bit of fulfillment when you're just
Yeah.
kind of staying at home, and man, you're just around kids, man, because that would be annoying. Man, you don't have too many adult interactions, so it's just almost like when that person comes home, man, you just like piling up on them and shit. Then that guy comes home, he's like, man, I'm just trying to wind down. I had a rough day. So I could see why that dynamic and stuff. Don't get me wrong, the other dynamics have their cons too, but definitely what she was just mentioning, like you said, like this is a lawyer. Like we've been telling people stuff like this, but of course, it falls on deaf ears because they're looking at it like you guys ain't lawyers. What the hell and stuff. I'm a lawyer on YouTube and stuff, but other than that, yeah, I'm not in no courtroom with this. But it's common sense. Like, somebody that there's like a sole provider and you're about to remove that, they're coming hard at that person. So a lot of times I see people, they're like, man, I don't care about that until it happens. And then that's when everybody lawyers up, and that's when everybody's pointing at the other side, like, oh, I want a little bit more, I want this, and nobody's trying to pay, the proper amount. So it just shows through the process that people are kind of capping when they're like, oh man, I don't care, it ain't gonna be that bad. It's just like, yeah, right. Talk to some family lawyers, they'll tell you otherwise, like how that shit plays out. And the one thing I always try to tell people, man, and like I said, this is just a for awareness. At the end of the day, do what the hell you want to, but protect both of y'all. Because sometimes I think people jump into stuff, just based on like what society tells them sometimes what they need to do instead of mapping everything out. But one thing you would never hear in divorce court is he was a great leader and he was a masculine man. They're not going to say that shit. so all that stuff people be telling themselves, like, you're not going to hear that in divorce court. That's two terms you're never going to hear. You're going to be portrayed as the worst person ever. So all that like great leadership and masculinity that you portrayed, good luck. You're going to be
that she pumped your head with.
Yeah. So now that's some things like I like how she kind of just broke it down. It's like, hey, here's the dynamics. This is why it happens. It was factual. And like you said, so I like how you also laid out like the in-home dynamics. It's just like, man, stuff changed so much where you just typically don't need a lot of that. So for somebody to kind of be like, hey, kind of like you said, pat me on the back, it's just like, man, like you could knock that out yourself. Like, give me, like you said, give me 8 hours, man. I'll be out there with the gloves on, and that house be immaculate at that point.
If I had 8 hours to clean a house, I wouldn't just clean my house. I'd clean my neighbors. I'd have a whole business going on. Be like, hey.
Yeah, facts. Now that you say it, I clean like 4 or 5 houses.
And still have time to hit the gym.
Damn, you do the gym in there too, huh?
Oh, yeah. Because, gyms got like daycare centers nowadays. So you can just, if you have small children, you could, if you ain't got no children, you stay at home. Like, what are you?
Oh yeah, I don't understand. Like a big family, I do understand those. Like you got 4 or 5, that is a job. So I give them that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the ones that got like 1 or 2, you better take your ass to drop you off at a cubicle.
Office.
Yeah. Put you in a random cubicle.
The daycare. Yeah.
So you gonna get you a stay at home? Is that what you're saying?
I'll get a Roomba before I do that. One of the vacuum cleaners that just operate by themselves.
Yeah. But nah, man, I know we've been telling guys for, we always get a lot of pushback, but stop messing with broke women, man. That's
yeah. I mean, you gotta also, and some women can have a little bit of money and still have a broke mindset. So you gotta be careful of those ones too. And you typically see those type of women when they expect things to be handed to them, because their mindset is just like, I can't do this. You have to do it. So it's just like, it's a scarcity mindset, a broke mindset. Stay away from it, fellas, because all that woman is going to come into your life. She's coming in to suck resources from you. But like I say, I'm not saying all stay-at-home moms are bad, because everybody, I think, has to do what works for them. If you have absolutely no game and no awareness, and the only thing you can get is a woman, if you pay for her and provide everything for her, go for it. If you are a guy that wants a really big family, then that actually makes sense. Keep your wife at home, because she's going to be raising a whole bunch of kids. Like, that makes sense financially, all the way around. That works. But a lot of cases, it's just women that just got more game than dudes, and they're just running game on dudes. So it's the funniest thing when I see women with like 1 kid and they're like, I'm stay at home. And it's just like the kid is like 12. And it's just like, damn. Yeah. How did you finesse this guy these extra? Yeah. How'd you finesse this guy these I could get the first 3-4 years, maybe. I even give it a pass to like 5 years, but like damn, how'd you finesse them those extra 5 or 6? Like, you got game, shorty. Like, game recognized game. Like,
So what do you think? What's your take on the ones that be like it's the hardest job ever? Like they never watched
Oh,
Deadliest Catch or something.
oh yeah. Stay at home is the hardest job. Yeah, right. Uh, that's an easy job, and it's not even a job; it's a responsibility. You can't even call it a job. Like it's disrespectful to everybody who works. That's a responsibility that you created. Like,
Yeah, I agree. Like definitely, man. It has some like hardships, but yeah, I think, man, if you that's your preference, by all means. And like you said, we know people like I think the man and the wife. We know some people that have a solid plan. Like she's like doing
yeah.
the schooling and stuff, but for a
Oh
large
yeah,
portion of
yeah,
people and stuff, a lot of people, like you said, are just trying to get over on somebody, want to just be at the house and stuff. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm not talking about the people who have like a plan of like, okay, it's gonna be 2 years and you're gonna get your degree. You're gonna stay home with the kids. Maybe we had kids a little too early before you got a chance to get established. Like, nah, you have to do what works for you ultimately. Like, don't listen to me and be in a situation that's not beneficial to you. You got to do what works for you.
you just talk about the
Um,
ones that's like just trying to sit at the house versus
yeah,
and
yeah, I'm
dictating
talking
the
about the
terms.
lazy.
Like, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, you're not a man if you can't provide. It's just like, that's the weakest level of game. But you're gonna get some guys, some guys it's gonna go whoop over their head, like, oh, this is what you're gonna redefine a word for me, and I'm just gonna listen to it. Like, that's not a masculine man. That's not a man who has an understanding of, life or how dynamics work. So yeah, you're gonna get those guys. So I think in most cases, women understand that. They know that they can throw anything out in the air, and there's gonna always be some sucker that like, I'll take that deal. It's
yeah,
like
facts.
and especially if you're an attractive woman, like there's always gonna be some sucker. So you just gotta, it's actually not a smart, it's actually not a bad play from a woman's perspective, but like, taking advantage of a man. But I'm just not a fan of taking advantage of anybody. So
Me neither. Especially nowadays when, man, all of us fought hard for any type of rights. We're
yeah,
minority men,
equality.
and it's just like to sit there when we could both be like excelling the household
Hmm.
and taking certain stances because you want to get over on somebody and push a burden on them. It's just dumb nowadays.
Yeah.
But I did have one question before we roll out. So, okay, out of a stay-at-home mom and a chick with a broke mindset, the one you was like, oh, they could be bad too. Which one would you prefer? Say she had
I,
money, she had a job, but she had a broke mindset, bad with money.
I'm taking the chick that's bad with money and a broke mindset over a stay-at-home
Mm,
mom, because I can do something with a chick with a broke mindset. I could figure out, what makes her tick, and we can have conversations. If she's receptive, then cool. If she's not receptive, you can find out different ways. But that's something I could work with. It would present an unnecessary challenge and an additional burden that I would have to deal with. But you know, I love one of the I think it was one of the comedians said it was like he was like, yeah, his grandmother told him, since like a broke man is like a broke hand, you can't do nothing with it. And it's like, yeah, you know, that's how I look at a stay-at-home mom, like with the reverse dynamics. Like, I can't do nothing with that. Like, as far as cooking, I could cook. Like, food don't need to be flavored that much.
she'll
Like,
make you a sandwich though. You don't want a sandwich?
bro, I can make my own sandwich.
Yeah. When they be making the selling points, like, man, but she could get you a sandwich. I'm
I
like,
could
man,
call
y'all ain't
my
never been
girl
to
right now to
Subway?
make 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah,
y'all ain't been to Subway?
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
gotta spend all this goddamn money to get a sandwich. Like, we're that basic and
Right.
simple.
Like, I seen one of these
Yeah, I'm
dudes.
definitely
I'm not
taking a
gonna say.
broke chick. I mean,
Yeah,
with the broke mindset.
yeah, yeah. But I seen. I'm not gonna say who it was, but I seen one of these dudes on these podcast panels, like, talking big shit. Well, I can tell my wife to go make me some food right now, honey. Go make me some food. Make me. And then she came back with a basic salad, and I was just like, damn, he's working his ass off for a woman. Like, at least pull off a 3-course meal or something
Yeah.
crazy where it's like,
A
oh
rack of
dang,
lamb
okay,
or some shit.
yeah. But it's just like that same, oh, go make me something. Like, I could pull up my phone, Uber Eats, like Uber Eats. I want, the nicest, restaurant in my area. This order, put the extra this, and that. And it's just like, if I have a partner who's working with me, we're not only going to be able to do that every day if we want to, but we're also going to be, doing what I feel is most important, like building a legacy. Because, 1 + 1 is 2, and 2 is greater than 1. So
Facts. Simple math.
you find a capable woman, you can double, and some of these women are smarter than these dudes, so you might find a woman more capable than you, and she's really getting to that bag way beyond what you can do. So I think some men are also scared of that, but we won't talk about that. That's a whole different topic.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get into that down the line. So yeah, we'll go ahead and cut this down, man. Great
let's
talk.
cut it
Like
right
you said,
there.
definitely would choose the chick with the broke mindset. Like I said before in other podcasts, I want to go below 130,000 with inflation for a female.
Yeah.
So I ain't messing with no chick underneath that. But
yeah, I agree. I would rather take broke rather than lazy. So
yeah, facts. But all right, y'all, we out of here. Peace.